Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio, KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, iTunes, Audible, and more, because I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So I bring you topics and guests and spotlight guests to that end. And today is the anniversary of a horrific event that happened a year ago. And I thought I would bring two global thought leaders back to your attention with words not just about our government, but with words about our world and humankind, emphasis on kind. And those two are Bob Proctor, the Dean of Prosperity, and my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center. And so we're going to skip the What's Up Doc section today and go right into the spotlight so you can hear and gain wisdom from two amazing global thought leaders. Enjoy.
And today I am continuing my fabulous wisdom series with more wisdom teachers. And if you remember, I celebrated my 200th show with a fabulous, powerful panel of Neil Donald Walsh, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, and Bishop Carlton. And I thought I would follow that up with two fantastic teachers. The first is Bob Proctor, the Dean of Prosperity and Abundance Teachings, shows people how to understand their hidden abilities to do more, be more, and have more in every area of life. His teachings are primarily based on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and his delivery is second to none. For more than 55 years, Bob Proctor has focused his entire agenda around helping people create lush lives of prosperity, rewarding relationships, and spiritual awareness. As one of the world's most highly regarded speakers on prosperity, he is internationally known for his inspirational and motivational style. He's been interviewed on CNN by Larry King and on the Ellen DeGeneres Show, and will be on CNN Espanol later this month. And the second, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, no stranger to my show since he is my big brother, is the founder and spiritual director of the Agape International Spiritual Center in Los Angeles, which is celebrating its 30th year. Three of his most recent books, Life Visioning, Spiritual Liberation, and Transcendence Expanded, are recipients of the prestigious Nautilus Award. Beckwith has appeared on Super Soul Sunday just recently, Dr. Oz, again, The Oprah Show, Larry King Live, Tavis Smiley, and his own PBS special, The Answer Is You, part of Oprah Winfrey's inaugural Super Soul 100. Sought-after speaker and meditation teacher, Michael's been the recipient of numerous humanitarian awards. Every Friday at 1 PST, thousands tune to his radio show on KPFK. Wake up, the sound of transformation. Please welcome two brilliant, fabulous men in my life, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith and Bob Proctor.
Good day to you, Marissa. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Marissa. Good to be here with you and Michael.
Absolutely. And congratulations to you, Bob. One of the reasons I brought you on is because you are getting a fabulous tribute at Carnegie Hall in New York next month for your many years of work. And I was just corrected. I thought you were 81, but you are 82. So you're a very good-looking 82. You must use oil of Olay.
I don't hang around with old people, Doctor.
Well, it shows.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Don't hang around with old people. What do you say to Americans right now who are either disgusted with both candidates, who are not knowing how to vote or wanting to be good Americans, not understanding what's going on? What would you say to them?
Well, First of all, I think America is the greatest country in the world. I am Canadian, but I love America. I think America has taught the world something about opportunity. It's the most generous country in the history of the world, and there's such great opportunity. You can focus on what's wrong with the election, or you can focus on the fact that they have an electoral system where anybody can run. And I think there's too much negativity in it. Mm-hmm. That's about all it is right now. But it's still, it's a free election. People can choose who they want. Mm-hmm. And I think America is a great country.
Okay.
I've always felt that. I've felt it for years. I remember one time many years ago, I got a green card, and I was driving across the border at Windsor, Detroit. My kids were all small. They were very small. We crossed the border. We had all the papers. Remember it very clear in my mind, and I'm going way back to the late 60s. And I felt so fortunate that I could go anywhere in America. I could go from state to state. I could stay there for the rest of my life if I wanted. I could work there. I could start a business there. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't help but think of the millions of people that probably take it for granted. Mm-hmm. It was just an overwhelming feeling of freedom and gratitude, and I never forgot that.
Mm-hmm. Michael?
I think that America stands for a tremendous amount of hope and possibility written within the Constitution and all the founding papers. There's possibility and vision. And it's up to the people who actually live in America to actually make that vision come true. There's obviously a tremendous amount of work to be done in the justice system, the legal system, educational system, the medical system, to come up to the highest vision of possible. That's possible. So it takes a tremendous amount of work. I stand with Bob in terms of the awareness that there's tremendous opportunity and possibility here for people who can think outside of the box. America is a place of tremendous hope. And as someone who lives here and who has grown up in America, I've always been one who was always on the edge of trying to make it better, trying to transform it, trying to bring it into the ideal that it holds. Mm-hmm. It was Dr. King who said that he loved America so much that I'm paraphrasing, of course, that his love of America allowed him the possibility to criticize it more than others. Because of where he stood and what he was experiencing at that particular time in his life. But I will say that you're dealing with paradigms. Mm-hmm. And within the present paradigm, you choose a particular president that you believe can best serve all of America. However, there's another paradigm that's emerging that has nothing to do with those two candidates or the candidates of the third and fourth party. And that's the paradigm, I think, where Bob and I hang out, about the possibility of a world that works for everyone, where there's enough energy, enough food. Now, all that stuff exists right now on the planet. There's an answer to every issue on the planet now in real time, except where it's being suppressed by interests that are residing in the old paradigm. And so we have to be reminded that when you're dealing with the political scene, those individuals are in an old paradigm that's dying. We are in a paradigm that's emerging. And so if we can always separate that in the old paradigm, choose the best candidate possible, but at the same time, work for the emerging paradigm that speaks to more of a global awareness of everyone's needs being met.
Thank you for that.
Stop.
Thank you for that. No. It's important.
Don't go away. If you enjoyed that, there's more to come here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where you not only listen, like the radio, but you listen and watch, thanks to cameras in my studio. And today's no exception. You'll want to see Bob Proctor and Michael Bernard Beckwith talk about how they learn what is right with the world and what we can do to make this world a better place. Enjoy.
And so let's talk about the other end. Being the best that we can be, seeing prosperity not as money is the root of all evil, which is what I understand your message has been around, Bob, for 50 some years, that it is okay to be prosperous, rich, abundant. And that kind of flies against some of the belief systems or the BS around spirituality, or, we shouldn't talk so much about money. So let's hit that one.
Well, I think the problem with money is a problem, same with a lot of things. The real problem is ignorance. Money is not a problem. The lack of it's a problem. With some people, too much of it's a problem. But money's merely an instrument, and it's only used for two things. One is to make you comfortable, and the more comfortable you are, the more creative you can become. And the second is to extend the good you do far beyond your own presence. I have found that money will just make you more of what you already are. If you're not a nice person, you'll probably become despicable if you get enough of it. And if you are a nice person, you're going to become a nicer person because you're going to be able to do more good. So I see money as an instrument, and I think people don't understand money. Mm-hmm. Money is a reward received for service rendered, and it's an instrument that will enable you to extend the service you render far beyond your own presence. Mm-hmm. I'm all for earning all the money you can, and then put it to work. Mm-hmm. I've been living in the same house for over 30 years. I have no desire to get a bigger, a better house. I like it here. I'm comfortable here. I'm into supporting Cynthia Kersey in her endeavors of building schools in Africa, and we now build a school every week and a half. I want to get to the point we can build one every day, and without money, we wouldn't be able to do that. So I see money as a great instrument, and that's all it is. It enables you to extend the good you do beyond your own presence. It doesn't make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already are. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Michael? Reverend Michael?
Well, absolutely. Bob and I have been in this conversation for years, and Bob, its articulation of the prosperity principles are second to none on the planet. And I would agree with him that money is a promissory note, is a promise that energy is going to be circulated. Mm-hmm. So whenever there's an exchange of money, you're exchanging energy. You're saying in substance, if I go buy a loaf of bread, that means I'm giving energy to the individual that's selling me the bread, that he can take that energy and send his kids to school. They can go on to college. I mean, money is to be circulated, and we have to stop and understand that there's no lack of prosperity or abundance or opulence anywhere in the universe. That's a myth. It's a lie. It's a lie of scarcity. And so when one begins to understand that they're standing in the middle of a sea of abundance and infinite opportunities, infinite possibilities, and begin to think creatively, then money follows, or energy follows, opportunity follows. So money isn't the root of all evil. When years ago, when religious folks began to take vows of poverty, it wasn't about being poor. It was about not allowing money to be your God, so that service would be your God. I mean, Mother Teresa, as an example, took a vow of poverty, but she raised millions of dollars to do the work she needed to do to feed the poor and to feed those and to take care of those who were sick and impoverished. She needed money to do so. So though money wasn't her God in terms of, as Bob was saying, buy her bigger mansions and 20 cars and being materialistic, she still had the consciousness of raising a lot of money to do the work she needed to do.
Yeah.
I'm the founder of Agape International. I have many ministries, many programs, many projects. I have global philanthropy. I do work with Cynthia Kersey, who emerged out of Agape. And we raise money. We attract money. We bring money into Agape so that we can extend the work that we do for others. I, like Bob, I've lived in the same house for many years. And I'm not materialistic. I have a car that's paid for. I haven't bought a new car every year. The car's 10 years old. It runs pretty good. When it doesn't work,
the Tesla's coming. Tesla's coming.
The Tesla's coming. Okay, somebody wants to donate a Tesla to me, I will receive it. I have no problem in being receptive to my good. But there's nothing wrong inherently with money.
Right.
It's materialism. Consumerism can become evil. And individuals who are greedy and stingy, who hoard money, who don't let it circulate into good works, that can become evil. There are individuals that I know that are very, very unhappy people, and very wealthy, according to human standards, but very unhappy. They're afraid to circulate one nickel towards anyone that will help anyone, and they're very unhappy people. So as Bob was saying, if you're on the curve of becoming a better person, you're growing, developing, and unfolding, money's going to assist that, and it's going to assist you in helping others. And if you're on the curve of not knowing yourself, being ignorant of your real identity, and you're in a consciousness of lack, even if you get a lot of money, you'll be a poor person with a lot of money, and you'll end up despising your life. And so I have no problems with money. Bring it on. I'm receptive.
Right.
You know, we had I was having a conversation one day with Mikey Steller, who in our marketing director of our company, and a couple come up in conversation. And she said, you know, they're the poorest people I know. All they have is money.
All they have is money.
Yeah, it is.
The problem with money is we don't teach people how to earn money. You can go all the way through our educational system and learn absolutely nothing about earning money.
Okay.
It's we're taught how to save it. We're taught how to invest it, but we're not taught how to earn it. And so you have brilliant people going around and they don't know how to earn money. Money is a reward for service rendered. The amount of money you earn is always in direct ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. But you take nothing with you. When you leave much the same way you come. I always say you leave with no hair, no teeth, no money. That's how you arrive.
And I would go a step further, Bob. I would even say within our school system, they don't even teach you how to save and invest money or how to open a bank account or any of that. People graduate from high school and know nothing about the law of circulation. They know nothing about the law of receptivity. They know nothing about the law of correspondence. They know nothing about the law of saving and investing. They get it if they go to college. Oftentimes, they know nothing after they graduate from college. It's not a part of our educational system. And it's
there's so many people operate with limited supply. I love the way Troward put it in his essay on Spirit of Opulence. He says, when you're dealing with infinite, you can never take more than your share. There's abundance for everyone. Right.
It's inexhaustible. It's inexhaustible.
Yeah. But then why are there so many people, and maybe this is a perception, but I meet so many spiritually minded people who are broke, or they continue to affirm their brokenness, or I can't afford that, or I can't do that, or I don't have enough money this month.
I understand what they're saying generally.
And then you have the other end, people like Donald Trump, who has the appearance of so much money, and you that whole perception around corporate greed, and the nasty people or the mean people have all the money, have all the wealth. That disparity of the have and the have-nots, or good people who deserve to have or work hard and then they get their pensions all taken away, or what is that? What is all of that stuff?
Well, you threw a lot of things into one question, Marissa.
Yeah.
But
Thank you. Thank you.
generally speaking, whether you're spiritual or whatever, so many people do not understand the laws of the universe. They don't understand their conversation. They don't understand the power of their word. They don't understand the power of their thinking. So though they may love God and whatever concept of God that they have very little understanding about the magnitude of the abundance that surrounds us, and how they've made an agreement with mediocrity that money is a lot of money makes you evil and nasty. So they have to break that particular agreement with that mediocre thinking, understand the laws of the universe, and begin to manifest the money that they need in order to do the will of God, in order to do a greater expression of life. Everyone doesn't need to be a multi-millionaire. Everybody has a different vision, different gift, different talents, different capacities for service, but they can demonstrate what it is that they need to be their authentic self. Now, of course, if you're talking about individuals that you've just mentioned, the media always gravitates towards the lowest common denominator of the human experience and the grossest experience that we can find. So naturally, we would be saddled with all of these individuals who are nasty and mean and have a lot of money, because it brings people to the television sets. But there are many people who are very philanthropic, many people who have millions of dollars, who live to give, who generate a lot of money, support spiritual communities, support school systems, support all manner of efforts. But you don't really hear about these people because many times they're not run by their ego. But they're doing good work. But you would hear about individuals who are in politics, because you have to have a big ego to even be at that level of run a country, you see.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. That actually answered all of mine, all of my myriad of questions. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who the two fabulous men on my camera are and in my studio today, it is Bob Proctor, and he is a master coach. He's a prosperity teacher. He's been doing this forever. And Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, also known as my big brother. And they are here sharing their wisdom to add to my wisdom series. You'll remember the show with Neil Donald Walsh and with Don Miguel Ruiz. And we're talking about money. We're talking a little bit about politics.
I hope you're enjoying their words as much as I am. I am so glad I have the Spotlight series, so I'm reminded of the wisdom from these two brilliant teachers. And don't go away. We're going to have more of Michael and Bob when we come back here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and more. Because I want the widest possible splatter zone to give you what's right about people, what's right about the world, and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And we finish off the show today with the remainder of the Spotlight interview of two global thought leaders, Bob Proctor, the Dean of Prosperity. He's been doing personal development longer than anyone else that I know, including the guy with the big hands. And my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who was the one who actually introduced me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. Here they are. Enjoy.
Who would you say your two most important, influential mentors were in getting you to where you are today. And Michael, that'll come to you as well in the next question.
Well, actually, there's more than two. There's 3 or 4.
Okay.
Ray Stanford is the first one. He is a man that I came across in 1961, and he gave me this book. The book has fallen apart now, but I've been reading this book every day now in another 10 days, it'll be 55 years. From October the 21st, 1961, Think and Grow Rich. And then I got into, just packing this up to take with me on the road. This is a recording that Earl Nightingale made. That's a record. On one side, it says Strangest Secret. On the other side, it says To Pay the Price. And I started to listen to this record. I should show you this because this is a bit of an antique as well.
Not long ago, Albert Schweitzer, the great doctor and Nobel Prize winner, was being interviewed in London, and a reporter asked him, "Doctor, what's wrong with men today?" The great doctor was silent a moment, and then he said, "Men simply don't think."
And that is a problem. I got into Think and Grow Rich, and then I got Earl Nightingale's condensed narration of Think and Grow Rich, which led me to that recording, The Strangest Secret. So those two men had a phenomenal impact on my life, and my life changed like night and day, and I couldn't figure out what I had done. I was living in England. I started cleaning offices to earn some extra money. And within a year of reading this and sitting down with Ray, my income had gone from $4,000 to $175,000. I remember when he gave me this book, he said, "If you'll do exactly what I tell you, you can have anything you seriously want." Well, I didn't believe that. I was broke. I was unhappy. No formal education. And I just didn't believe it. But I believed he believed it. And I think that did something to me. And so I started to do exactly what he said. I was living in England. I had open offices in about 7 different cities in Canada and the United States. And I was living over in England, and I had earned over $1 million, and I couldn't figure out what happened. I didn't think I was lucky. I didn't believe in luck. I had been raised to believe if you're going to do really well, you've got to be really smart. I knew I wasn't that smart. I'd also been raised to believe if you don't go to school, you'll never get a good job. I didn't have a good job. I owned the company. And I had only gone to school for 2 months, high school. And so I wanted to know what happened, and I started to study. I ended up going to work with Earl Nightingale and Lloyd Conant, and I met Leland Val Vanderwell and Dr. Harry Roeder. So there's 4 or 5 of them that really shaped me. And it took me 9.5 years, but when I got the dots to connect, all I wanted to do was teach it. And
did they criticize
you? I think we're led down the wrong path. I think we have to understand the essence of who we are. And that's what these people started to teach me.
Okay.
We are spiritual beings. We are a soul. We don't have one. And the soul is forever seeking its awareness of its oneness with God. So we're always attempting to expand our level of awareness. And I've never stopped studying, and I never will stop studying. I absolutely love to study this. I love to study who we are, and all I want to do is share it. That is my great motivation. When I wake up in the morning, that's what I want to do. And that's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. So I've had 4 or 5 people that really had a profound impact on my life. And they helped me begin to understand who I am. But I think it's a process. I don't think you ever get it all put together. I think it's a process, and you keep becoming more and more aware. And the more aware you become, I think the more effective you are, the better you're able to share it.
How much of that was them believing in you even though you didn't believe in yourself?
Oh, I think that was an enormous part of it.
Okay.
You see, I think what they do is they lead you to start to believing in yourself. I found there's a couple of things. First of all, everything you study, I don't care, you can get into Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, all the psychological books, all Hales and Carnegie's, and every place they tell you, you have to believe. And that was really playing on my mind, because I was thinking, how do you believe? You know,
Right.
Somebody said, just believe it. Well, how do you believe?
Yeah.
And I was having lunch with one of my mentors, Leland Valvanderwall. He was a brilliant man. And he's gone now, God bless him, but he sure helped me. And he said something, and like everything fell into place. He said, our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about it will change. Well, most of our beliefs we inherited. We didn't originate them ourselves at all. Most of the beliefs that people have are absolutely absurd.
That's why they're called
They have
BS.
no foundation whatsoever. And when he said that, I got him to repeat it because it was like bells going off in my head. I suddenly found out how and why I changed. I had changed my belief system about who I was and what I was capable of doing. And I did that through reevaluating who I was. All this material I was studying, I was trying to figure out me. I was trying to figure out who I was. And as I started to reevaluate my belief about myself, my relationship with God or infinite, and my relationship with you, with Michael, with the world in general, shifted completely. And I could see we're all one. There's only one power. And we're all an expression of that power. Everything's an expression of that power. But we're a special expression because we're created in God's image. We've got creative faculties. We're creative beings. So we can do something that no other form of life can do. All the other forms of life have everything we've got except our creative faculties.
Yep.
Well, all the other forms of life are completely at home in their environment. They blend in. We're totally disoriented in our environment, and that is because we've been blessed with the faculties to create our own environment. And unfortunately, too many have not learned that, and they're a product of their environment rather than create their own environment.
Thank you for that, Bob. We're going to have him at the pulpit on Sunday, right, from Michael. That was awesome.
You want to come in, Bob? You want to come in?
That was great.
You come in this month. You come in this month, Bob.
Absolutely.
I would love to, Michael, anytime.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to call you when we hang up.
I know, right? And we're going to have to take a quick
if-
little
if I
break
could
right
just
now.
interrupt for a second. Michael had me speak at his church one time, and it was the first time I'd been there. And I said that everybody should go there at least once. It was a spiritual experience, the like of which I had never had. It was something very special. And when I got up to the front, he had everybody stand up and put their hands out and send love to me. It changed my whole being. I think Agape is, without question, one of the most phenomenal centers of spirituality on the planet.
Oh, that's
it's certainly
beautiful.
the most powerful one I've ever been in.
Oh, thank you, Bob. That's my home, and that's
Oh, well,
and that's my
no,
teacher, and
That's not just my thoughts. I think that's the thoughts of a lot of people.
that's beautiful. And today we are continuing with our wisdom series with two brilliant men, Bob Proctor, the Dean of Prosperity and Self-Growth, and as well Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder and spiritual director of Agape International Spiritual Center. And Bob, before you were mentioning people and how they helped you and the most influential people, and that they believed in you even when you didn't believe them in yourself the same way. And I have to say that is exactly my story. And I just wanted to give a little love right now to Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who really did do that for me. So almost 8 years ago, I was a person who I had a belief system about myself that was, on the outside looked pretty good, but on the inside just did not. I thought I was a piece of shiitake. No matter how hot shiitake I looked or acted, I felt that way. And it was because of his teaching and his belief in me that I could change how I saw myself. And now Look at me now. So thank you. Thank you. I love you so much. Thank you very much. So you're always good about that for me. So I wanted to make sure I did that on the air. So anyways, okay. Enough love. Next, Reverend Michael, who
Yes.
would you say are the two people who really influenced you to be who you are?
Well, like Bob, it's way more than two. But as an adult, I had a spiritual awakening in my early 20s that allowed me to go on a path to discover what had happened to me. And so naturally, I bumped into the teachings of Jesus the Christ again and understood them from a much more higher metaphysical, mystical awareness, and not merely from religiosity awareness. Ralph Waldo Emerson was another individual that The Law of Compensation and other essays really hit me. I also picked up Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Dr. Daniel M. Morgan, who was the founder of the Agape Church of Religious Science, a great articulate word master of metaphysics, helped me put language to the experience I was having within. Dr. Homer Johnson, a great metaphysical mystic that I would sit with on Saturdays, many Saturdays, riding my bicycle over to his house, helped me understand the inner dynamic of my oneness with God that I was feeling so intensely. Dr. Thomas Troward, Dr. Thomas Troward, I studied his work, studied Ernest Holmes. I studied Thomas Hora, who was a great psychiatrist who created meta-psychiatry. He was a great teacher of mine back in the early 80s. There's been so many. Dr. Howard Thurman really was able to language the deep human angst of the human experience, but at the same time, the understanding of our mystical connection to a presence that's never, ever absent and is inexhaustible. So many teachers on this side of the veil and the other influenced me to really have, as Bob was saying, just to have a deep practice. I think as you transcend belief systems into what are we really practicing? Bob was saying, and he wakes up and he studies every day.
Right.
Been at this over 50-something years, and every day he's still a student. That's where I live, Marissa. I have a beginner's mind. I'm a student of the teachings. I meditate every day. I pray every day. I study every day. I ask to be of service every day. And I have the same fire in me today that I had over 40 years ago when I had my initial opening as an adult. There's been no waning of that at all. I feel like I'm just beginning. I'm just beginning. I can read something, a paragraph, 20, 40, 50 times in the same book. And every time I read it, the lines may not have changed in the book, but I have. I have a deeper understanding of myself, life, and I see what's written in between the lines. And so Thurman, Dr. Dan Morgan, Homer Johnson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Napoleon Hill, these individuals, Walter Russell, another great teacher of mine, was the greatest mystic that ever came out of America. Many people don't even know about him, but he, he recorded the many of the elements in the chart before individuals could see it. He was a multimillionaire. He was a ice skating champion at 69 years old. He invented the duplex. So across the he was a deeply spiritual man, but like we were talking about earlier, he had no problem with money. He was a deeply spiritual man. He went into cosmic consciousness. At the same time, was a multimillionaire, a great, wonderful mansion in Virginia, great teacher. He was one of my early influencers because when I would go into these bouts of being in the light for periods of time, I didn't know what that was until I studied Walter Russell and studied some of the great mystics. I understood I was being taught in the light from these cosmic awarenesses. So Walter Russell influenced my life tremendously. Right. And everyone should know who Walter Russell is if you're an American, at least. There's a wonderful book called The Man Who Tapped the Secrets of the Universe by Glenn Clark. And he writes about Walter Russell. And the other book he wrote was about George Washington Carver, the man who talked to flowers. That was another great influencer, because most people think that George Washington Carver was a scientist. He was a mystic. He woke up at 4 o'clock every single day, talked to the flowers. They would tell him what they were useful for. Then he would go into his laboratory and prove what the flowers had told him.
Wow.
So most people think that he was trial and error, going into a laboratory and discovering things, and he wasn't doing anything by trial and error. He was having a direct encounter with the Spirit via the flowers and the trees and the ground, and then he would go into the laboratory and prove it. Most people don't understand that.
Right.
I have a picture of George Washington Carver in my office, an actual photograph.
Wow.
Because I was teaching about him one year, and this gentleman who was into demolition brought back these pictures of him, and he said they had been thrown away in the trash can at a Hollywood studio because no one knew who this black man was.
Oh, wow.
Because he had taken my class, he knew it was George Washington Carver.
Wow.
So I had these actual photographs of George Washington Carver in my office as a reminder to wake up every single morning and to commune with the presence and to commune with nature. And one thing he said, if you fall in love with something deep enough, it will reveal its secrets to you. So I fall in love every single day with the presence. I fall in love every single day with the infinite, and it reveals its secrets to me.
And I think that answers the common, the question that has a common answer between the two views. Well, the secret to success is that thirst for knowledge. That secret to success is not sitting around waiting for something to fall in your lap, or think that I deserve to have something, or that something is entitled to me and I work so hard, why am I not? But that just for the sake of wanting to learn, the sake of wanting to grow and expand and be so in love with life. And that seems to be a dis-ease in life that I see more and more in my life balance coaching sessions, where people are just, they don't want to live, or they see no reason to live. And I ask them, how much do you read? How much, is there anything that interests you? Is there anything, when was the last time you took a walk? And it's like I don't feel like doing it. And it seems like this, I don't know.
That's a disease.
It is a disease.
That's a disease.
Right.
Emotional reasoning is a disease. Whenever someone says, I don't feel like it, that is now classified psychologically as a disease. You do not do something because you don't feel like it. That's a train wreck starting to happen. When you start to become inspired and motivated, and you start to yield to your greatness, you do things you don't feel like doing. You don't feel like getting up, you get up anyway.
Right.
You don't feel like eating the right food, you do it anyway. You don't feel like studying a little bit, you do it anyway. And so I don't feel like it is a disease that many people have. It's called laziness. And many people are afraid to break free from the herd because they don't want to be talked about. Because when you start to break free, people don't like you. They talk about you. Who does they think he is? But you know what? They never gossip about a couch potato. They only gossip about people who are trying to make a difference.
Michael, you just said something. You were saying you read the same thing over and over. This is a book holder that I have on my desk. And I'll keep this open. This is The Hidden Power by Thomas Troward. And right now, I'm reading Affirmative Power. And it's only 3 pages, but I've been reading it for 3 months.
Right.
Every day. Let me read you the start. It's so good. Thoroughly to realize the true nature of affirmative power is to possess the key to the great secret.
Yep.
Troward is such a phenomenal author. My goodness. He takes the most complicated and he winnows it down so I can understand it. But I have this. It's a book holder. When I went in Earl Nightingale's office way back around 1965, I noticed he had a holder to hold the book open on his desk. And that stuck in my mind. And I asked him why he had it. He said, because I read the same page over and over again for a couple of months. I've been doing it ever since then.
Yeah.
Yep. The same thing. I love Thomas Troward. I have a powerful statement that I love of his. He says, in order to understand the wonders of the universe, you have to do two things. You have to realize you're at the center of it. At the same time, you have to withdraw all thinking that you can contribute anything to its efficiency. So you're at the center of the universe, and you can't control any of its efficiency.
You're not all that.
In the Dory lectures, he said something that's very interesting and a person could easily miss. He said, my mind is a center of divine operation.
That's right.
Now, in everything, if I was holding a basketball, there's only one center. There's only one center in this studio that I'm in. There's only one center in a city. If I had an apple, there's only one center. He said, my mind is a center. That would indicate there's more than one center.
Right.
And I stumbled on that, and I thought, wow, that's huge. You're dealing with infinite, any point center.
Every point is center.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're at the center of the universe, and we are centers. I think some people got it mixed up. They thought there was a mistype. They heard center. But it was center. We're not original sinners. We're original centers in the mind of God.
That's right.
That's great.
Well, in anything,
don't get me and Bob started up
by the outer measurements.
I know.
When there is no outer measurements, I have here a globe. There's only one center, and that's determined by the outer measurements. But when you're dealing with infinite, there is no outer measurement, so every point's center.
Yeah.
Every point is center.
Yeah. And if you're not following, I just want you to don't worry about following. Just watch the transformation of these two young men on camera when they're talking about something that they're excited about. You guys look like you're like 8 years old and you're all excited about what you're talking about. It's beautiful, doesn't it? I mean, they look ageless. And this is the fountain of youth right here. Be interested, be enthusiastic, love what you're doing, want to think. There's nothing worse than contempt before investigation. Just go out and learn and grow and think and be rich and use the money that you have to do everything that you want and more. And that, I think, is the bottom line here.
I have traveled all over the world now for well over 50 years. And I have found everywhere I go, I keep asking people, what do you want? What do you really want? Mm-hmm. And I've come to the conclusion people just want three basic things. Oddly enough, most people don't want to be really wealthy. What they do want, they don't want to have any financial concerns. They want to be free insofar as money's concerned. If they want to take a trip, they want to be able to take it. Mm-hmm. If they want to buy a dress or a suit, they want to be able to buy it. No financial concerns. Number two, they want to wake up and really be excited about how they're going to spend their day. Mm-hmm. They're going to do what they love all day. And they want to mix with people who are creative and productive and creatively productive. They're upbeat. And they're about what the three things want. I've got those three things. I love my life. Mm-hmm. All I want to do is just keep growing. Greater awareness.
Beautiful. That's the final word. Nothing more needed. I have that life too, and I'm so grateful for it. And I know that you do too, Reverend Michael. Is there any last word from you for the listeners out there? Thank you, Bob. That was perfect.
I think everything that we said has covered a lot of material. I would say that all of us are at the center of the universe. As he quoted Troward, our mind is a center in the mind of infinite possibilities. We have to know the difference between thinking and mentation. Mentation is the regurgitation of thoughts and opinions and points of view that you have every day. As Bob mentioned earlier, some of them you've inherited, some of them you get from the collective race consciousness, from the overculture, from the news. We have to have inspired thought. Mm. Inspiration is a different kind of thought than your normal mentating. Inspiration comes directly from the mind of the universe. Yes. So you have to court it. It has to be important to you. You have to wake up and want that. You have to study. You have to meditate. You have to vision so that you can be inspired. Inspiration pulls you to a greater expression of your real destiny. And I will say one other thing. Every single being, it's not a throwback in the bunch, every being has a great destiny within them.
That's right.
They have to discover it, uncover it, activate it, and ultimately express it. There's not a throwback in the bunch. The universe did not create any accidents, any extra people. Everyone matters. Everyone is a unique expression of infinite possibility, and we have to wake up to that absolute truth.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Bob Proctor, Michael Bernard Beckwith, for an amazing show, for amazing words of wisdom. They're talking to you. Thank you so much to both.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you. It's always good being with you, Bob.
My pleasure, Michael.
And I hope you got a lot out of that spotlight interview. The things that they talk about are timeless and very good to remember all the time, especially now when we had the opposite show of human nature and the worst things we can do at Capitol Hill, contrasted with what we are all trying to do, each and every one of us, to be humankind. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her loving room, reminding you that it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go forth and multiply the goodness that you are and have the best day ever.